Hey, what's going on there, folks? It is Earthmaster, August 27, 2018, 10:05 p.m. here on the West Coast, and taking a look at the live stream earthquake 3D view here. Shows a 5.4 showing up there just around the Chile region. You can see it showing up there on the seismograph stations over there to the left on that individual station right here. Kind of a distant earthquake from the station itself right here, not really sharp at all. So, but either way, a little bit of earthquake activity continuing there in South America region just right now. Some activity further south there of South America with a couple, looks like a 5.6 or so towards the Antarctica region. I don't see too much activity down there, but nonetheless, a little bit of activity showing up on the earthquake 3D globe. And some more deep activity over around the Fiji Islands region as well. Other than that, no large-scale, large magnitude earthquakes occurring today, which is a good thing, because we've definitely seen a lot of activity over the past couple weeks or so of large earthquake activity. Some interesting activity to report there in Southern California. Let me make sure I'm showing you guys right. Yep. This here is the most recent earthquakes in California and Nevada. Looks pretty normal, right? Except for you head down here along the southern section of the San Andreas Fault System there, and you can see some activity occurring within that region there. Looks like a 3.0 occurring within the Thousand Palms area. Let me go over to this other map right here and show you guys a little bit better detail. So still, USGS map here. This is all magnitudes just today. And definitely seeing a little bit of activity down here along the southern section of the San Andreas Fault System, which runs right here in that red line section. So it's a little ways off of there. It looks like maybe about 3 miles or so to the northwest or northeast of there, of this fault system. No direct fault system out here where this activity is occurring, but there's definitely some confined activity there. You can see it being within this region right here. Nothing big, but any kind of activity out here on the southern part of the San Andreas Fault System there is definitely something to be on guard about. We also have kind of a swarmish, is that really, I don't know if that's a word or not, but I'm going to use it. Swarmish type activity occurring here. You can see it pretty well defined over here in this region there. Quite a few lower magnitude earthquakes. These are basically under 1, but nonetheless some activity and movement being reported in this region there near Beauty Mountain, it looks like, up here in this area. Got the some type of Indian reservation over here towards the east. But yeah, interesting activity occurring down in Southern California. Nothing on the large scale, but I did want to point out some activity occurring in Southern California. This is the area to watch, according to scientists and stuff like that. That this area is locked, and the area of the San Andreas Fault System that they believe is going to unleash the big one sometime in the future here. So always like to pay attention to this region here whenever we see activity occurring within that area. Like I say, nothing big going on, just a little bit of minor activity in the Southern California region there along the southern section of the San Andreas Fault System. Other than that, California remains, well, it remains California. So definitely watching this area down here very closely for any type of other activity. This here is the latest real-time trimmer data along the Cascadia subduction zone. A lot of reports here. This is the last 48 hours, so 2 days ago, or 2 days period. Shows some activity here south of Redding, California, in the Sacramento Valley region up here, which is rather interesting. This here is tremor detection, not earthquake activity, but more so tremor movement, slow slip event, so to speak, occurring here in Northern California. Also up around Salem, Oregon, and confined up here to Vancouver Island region as well, just southwest of Vancouver. So definitely some movement going on the slow slippage there along the Cascadia subduction zone. Looking at 9.8 hours of tremor. 3 hours, the last 3 hour period. Pretty quiet. Only a couple specks here along Salem region, and also up here by Tacoma. I did want to pick up on Hawaii real quick. The Kilauea volcano situation going on. Pretty quiet. This here is the 1 day, all magnitudes. 11 measly little earthquakes out here. So activity continues to decline in the Hawaiian region there along the Kilauea volcano area and the lower east rift zone out here. Still going to be active for a little while, just minor activity, but it's looking pretty quiet, which is probably a good thing for those folks there. We had quite a bit of rainfall up here to the north. I can't remember the exact measurements, but it was definitely some good rainfall. And luckily, these guys were fortunate enough to only get tropical storm status up here. That hurricane quickly diminished and disintegrated from Category 5 down to a tropical storm, which is good for these guys up here in the island region. Let me check solar ham area or data real quick. As you can see, the K index reading quite a bit of activity following some coronal hole activity, some wind speed there, solar wind. You can see the auroras here in Fairbanks, Alaska, which I believe I am going to go back up there pretty soon. I don't think I videoed too much up there, or I don't think I uploaded too much video from the Alaska trip there onto my YouTube channel, but I did on my Facebook page. But this time I'm going to do a little bit more live streaming while I'm up there on the channel. But that probably won't happen until possibly October. I don't want to go back up there in the wintertime. Wintertime's pretty nice, but ice-packed roads, it's pretty crazy. So I kind of want to go up there at the end of summer and check it out again. So that's coming up here in October region. But the auroras, pretty good. Looking pretty good up there in the Fairbanks, Alaska region. Let's see what else we got here. Geomagnetic storm field is, geomagnetic field storm. That's the issue right now, the past 24 hours. Definitely showed up rather nicely here on the K index over the past couple days. Mellowed out a little bit today. As far as solar sunspots go, these are kind of going away from us, I guess. On the side of the sun disk right here, you got 2720 and also 2719 showing up there. It's kind of interesting because we are kind of in a solar minimum phase, but it will be interesting to watch and see if these continue to grow or decline. Anyway, folks, we'll end this live stream, or we'll end the update video here, and keeping an eye on Southern California region, as it's been kind of like the quiet spot with all this activity occurring over the last couple of weeks. I mean, we've seen large magnitude earthquakes pretty much all around the Pacific Plate. Southern California, the North American Plate and Pacific Plate connection there, pretty quiet, which is it's puzzled a lot of people. So we'll just see what happens. Like I say, it's going to happen one of these days. The big one down there in let's just hope those folks down there in Southern California are prepared. So, all right, folks, I'm gonna call it a night, and if something happens out here, I'll give you guys a heads up and jump on the live stream. In the meantime, take care. Have an earthquake plan, as always. Make sure you got a full tank of gas. That's what I always do. I always like to make sure I got a full tank of gas. And like plenty of top ramen noodles and water and whatever else. Toilet paper. Alright, folks. Have a good night.